All right, let's get going with those jumping jacks here. So drop the shoulders down nice and low, and you can start easy, tapping out, partially waving up and down, but every time you're trying to get a little bit higher up in the air here. Just stretching the body out, trying to take up as much space as possible. Stand up a little bit taller, drop some of the stress or the anxiety out of your shoulders. And we're going to switch into seal jacks here. So that's forward and backwards, making sure that we're pinching our shoulder blades back together. So we don't want the shoulders to dip forward here. So rather than focusing on the stretch, focus on pinching your shoulder blades together each time you come into the back for that farthest position. And we're going to keep going with this motion, but we're going to take it a little bit further now into hugs and kisses. So you can stop with the legs. You're going to hug yourself, and then you're going to clap behind you, and that's the kiss that's met. Each time you come to the front, different arm is on top here. Notice getting these arm swings in. Shaking out the body, releasing any nervousness. Good. All right, next one, moving to the back of our space. We're going to do one big straight kick forward, reaching for that hand, stretching out the back of the leg here. Just going to turn my timer up because I wasn't able to hear that. So if you've got a long hallway, this is a great exercise to just walk down the hallway and do. If you're short on space like me, there's this little, you get into a rhythm of 1 step forward, 2 steps backwards. You want to stay tall, so we're not going into a lean back position. We're not turning into the Grinch. We're staying tall. A little bit of momentum to help you get into that hamstring stretch here. 10 seconds to go. Good. Next, you're going to want to go ahead and grab your straight bar.
2, 1,
So
go.
with that straight bar nice and wide, we're going to lift our arms up and over and then back down. Shoulder blades pulled down your back. So we're not shrugging up to here. The shoulders are nice and low. We're feeling the stretch across the chest and through the front of the shoulder. Go ahead and move on the next one. Your hands in a little bit closer here. Going up and around again. So you're not going to go quite as far here. You're going to start to feel the stretch change from across your chest to down your chest this way. And when you're ready, we're going to move into that narrowest position, which is shoulder width apart or closer together. Arms stay nice and straight. Think about keeping the rib cage pulled down into your belly button as you lift up. So we're not coming up into the top, into this position.
2, 1, go.
Go ahead and put the bar down. And we're going to come into our nice wide stance here for those hip circles around. Start that circle nice and small, assessing where the tightness is in your hips, whether that's above or below it. In any area that feels pinchy, I want you to go extra slow through that area. Good. Last big circle this direction. When we switch off the opposite direction, remember you have to make that circle smaller again because we slowly get bigger every circle we go around. So we want to give the opposite direction the same opportunity to warm up that we gave to the first one. Remember, we never want to push past a 3, maybe a 4 out of 10 on the pain scale when we're going through mobility, especially in the morning when our bodies are cold. One more big circle this direction.
3, 2, 1.
And then we're going to heel toe our feet out to the side a little bit wider. So hip tilting from one side to the other. Legs stay straight here. I do have a micro bend in them, but I'm not bending my legs into a side lunge. I'm going to tilt one hip down and then the other. So really emphasizing that stretch in the upper half of the inside of the leg. If you want to move through this, you are welcome to. Tilt, you can twist and reach. Or you can tilt and hinge backwards. I'm sure there's other ways of movement that you could find as well to see what those hips need. Good. About 15 more seconds left here.
3,
All right, so for this next one here, we're gonna bring our hips back to neutral. Imagine if you have that bowl of soup sitting in them, you're not gonna spill it. We're gonna push our bum back, our knee forward, and get our bum as close to our heel as we can, and then come back up. In this, I always want your chest to stay above your hips. So if you're coming down and your shoulders are way down here, we're not stretching what we're intending to stretch right now. It doesn't mean that it's not a good way to move, it's just not appropriate for this particular moment. Keep that chest nice and proud. We're looking for that stretch through the inside of the leg, straight leg here. And then on the way up, you're starting to get activation through that outside of the leg, foot, and glute here. Every time trying to get a little bit lower. Remember that pain is not your friend here. It is not no pain, no gain. We want a pain-free range of motion. We're just getting warmed up. Good. Go ahead and heel toe those two in.
2.
And you're going to make your way to the back of your space here. We're going into our inchworm walkouts. So remember, you can bend those knees to get the hands down to the ground. Then you're going to walk those hands out. You always have an option to do a push-up here if you'd like. And then on the way back, we're going to keep those legs nice and straight. And we're going to see how close to our feet we can get our hands before we have to bend those legs. Big reach up overhead if it feels good. But if it makes you dizzy at all, you don't have to actually stand up. You can just walk those hands in and back out again. We've got about 20 seconds left. And we are going to end on the floor. We're going to be down on the floor next. So if that changes how you time things for this final 10 seconds we're going into, that's okay, because we are going to finish on our hands and our knees.
3.
Go ahead and bring those knees to the floor here. Wherever you are, make your way down. We're going straight into our cat-cow here. Arching that back up into the cat position. Inhaling as we drop our belly button, raise our chin up into the cow position. I want you to close your eyes and visualize every single vertebrae getting a little bit of movement here. Remember, motion is lotion. We're just getting our body prepped for the day. If it feels good, you can do those little side bends from one side to the other. Not just pushing the hips around, but thinking of connecting hip to shoulder and then vice versa. So you can go up and down or side to side, whatever feels good for you. About 15 seconds to go. All right, so when next you come into your cat position here, I want you to hold it. So I want you to imagine that I have my finger right on that center vertebrae in the middle of your low back. You're going to really arch into there and very slowly push your hips backwards towards those hips and then coming up forward, still keeping that rounding in the low back. When you come up to the top, you can release down into an extension of the spine and then right back up into that flexion, targeting your low back, really trying to get in as much as possible into it to stretch. And then we come forward. Probably got time for one more here. 15 seconds left. These are not quick movements. If you need a pad for your knees or cushion, go ahead and grab it now. We're going to come on over to one knee into our half kneeling position to stretch out our quads. So we're going to start with just tucking that tailbone right underneath you here and then releasing, emphasizing the stretch to the front of the hip here. So how hard can you tuck your tailbone under to need to feel that stretch? On your next one, I want you to hold that pelvic tilt and then drive the knee forward. So you'll notice I've got a straight line from my knee to my hip. If I don't pelvic tilt, I can get into this arched position where I'm now feeling the pinch here and actually stretching more of my abdomen. So that pelvic tilt helps you keep it into the hip and the lower leg here. And you're trying to see if you can get that knee over top of your toe. If the knee's uncomfortable that you're kneeling on, flex your back foot to keep the muscles around the knee engaged.
3, 2.
When you're ready, let's go ahead and switch it over to the opposite knee. Starting with just the pelvic tilt. So very gently opening up the front of the pelvis here. Tilting and untilting. And then when you're ready, you can hold that pelvic tilt and drive the knee forward to take the stretch down the rest of the quad muscle. Remembering if the knee is uncomfortable, try flexing that foot here. Nice tall back here without extending and leaning backwards. All right, for the next one, you can go ahead and switch knees back if you'd like to. If they get a little sore on them, you're gonna stick your leg out to the side. So you can be on the inside of the foot if you need to, but ideally we're on the bottom of the foot. Hands come down to the ground here, and we're gonna shift our body weight forward and backwards. So we call this the goalie post. Trying to keep those hips level. And you're feeling that stretch on that inside of the leg here. Remember, we don't want to go past that 3 or 4 out of 10 on the pain scale. Now, if that's feeling good, you are welcome to stay here. If you'd like to take it up a notch, you're going to bring those hands up off the ground, pushing the hips backwards and then pushing the hips forward, really feeling that open through the front of the hip here. Good. Last 10 seconds here, whichever one feels best for your body is today is the one that's appropriate.
3, 2, 1.
Go ahead and switch it over to the opposite side. It's all about listening to your body here. So if your body, usually you can take the harder progressions I give you, but today you just need the lower, take the lower. If your body just needs for you to lay on the mat, you are welcome to do that as well. But remember, that's only if your body needs it, not if that's what your brain wants. We're giving our body what it needs right now. So you're welcome to stay here. If you'd like to take it up a notch, bring those hands up off the ground. Still the same motion, but you're going to feel it a little bit more in the front of the hip here. Good work. Last 10 seconds. Then we're going to go on to both knees. If your knees are sore, you are welcome to go up to a stand and do the chest stretch against the wall. So it is down on the knees here, hands out to the side, shifting your body weight from one side to the other. If that doesn't feel good on the knees, come up to the wall here and you can do the same thing, but shifting from one side to the wall, other up on the wall. Totally up to you on which one you do. Just remember, you want to keep the shoulders pulled down your back. So we don't want that shoulder to shrug up and down here. Think about pulling it towards that hip below you. Now, wherever you're at now, I want you to move your hands from in line with your shoulders up into a wide position, and we're doing the same motion now. But now, instead of feeling it across your chest, you're going to feel it from your shoulder down to your rib cage as we hit the pec minor and start to get into that lat muscle. Inhale to switch, exhale to drop deeper.
1. Go.
Last one here. Then we're going to slide those hands in underneath us here. You're going to inhale as you open up and exhale to thread the needle here. If you're up on the feet and it doesn't feel good to kneel, you're going to do some windshield wipers. So as you turn and look over one shoulder, just starting to get into a little bit of rotation through the spine. If you're down on your knees, you're going to go ahead and switch arms. If you're up standing windshield wipering, then you're going to keep going with what you're doing because you're alternating sides. Nice job. Last 10 seconds here. And then we're going to make our way to a seated position.
3, 2,
Awesome.
1.
Make your way over to a seated position here. We're leaning back on those hands with our feet kicked out in front of us, and we're just very lightly dropping our legs from one side to the other. As long as your heels and your hands stay put, you can let your hips lift as much as you need to, as much as feels good. You don't have to get your knees all the way down to the ground. You can if you'd like to. Now for the second half here, let's see if you can bring those hands a little bit closer. If this is feeling easy, maybe you can do this without having your hands on the ground. Remember, we want to keep that back nice and straight as we roll through the center, unlike I'm able to do, but we're working on it. Last 10 seconds here.
3, 2, 1.
All right, so lean, if you're up on your hands, lean back on the hands, and now we're gonna be strict. We're not gonna let our bum lift up off the ground. So you're rotating one knee in towards that center line, and then the other, but my hips aren't lifting, so they're still on the ground. You probably will not get your knees down onto the ground on this, but we're really giving a good stretch to those internal rotators through the front of the hip here, front and side of the hip. I want you to start thinking about which side is tighter. So let's go ahead and pick the side that's tighter, and you're gonna let your legs fall to that direction. If you've got some tightness and you can't stay in this position, you can either put a yoga block or books under your bum to lift you up. That will relieve some pressure, or you can use this arm to push you up nice and upright here. I'm in my 90-90 position, which means I'm aiming to get my knees as close to 90 degrees as possible. And right now my body is facing directly over top of my shin. So we're gonna rock forward and backwards, keeping the knee connected to the ground and actually using the knee pressing into the ground to help me come up. So I stretch on the way down and I activate on the way up. Now you're gonna take your hands wherever they're at, and you're gonna put them on one side of your knee here. And now you're pressing down straight over top of the knee and then coming back up. And you're gonna see how that changes where in the hip and the glute you feel that stretch. Just a slight turn of the body and we can target different muscles. Good. Then we're gonna walk our hands, both hands behind that knee here, holding your shoulder line parallel to the ground. You're gonna lower down into your push-up position, and then you're gonna hover your body weight from one hand to the other. We're gonna inhale as we push towards our knee, and we're gonna exhale as we push away. In and out. So you're starting to get out of the glutes and more into that low back here. Next time you push to that back hand, you're actually going to replace the hand with the elbow. Inhale, one arm up in the air, and then exhale as we once again thread the needle underneath us. We're in a bit of a squishier position than last time, than when we just did our thread the needle here. So remember not to push past that 3, maybe 4 on the pain scale. And use your breath to help you relax.
3, 2.
Go ahead and slowly unwind. And I want you to switch it over to the opposite side. So put that yoga block under the hip, use the hand to push you upright, and then we're rocking forward and backwards over top of this shin. Remember, this knee stays connected to the ground. So I lean over it and stretch, and I push the knee into the ground to help me come upright. So this is in the outside of the hip and the glute here. We're going to stay in the outside of the hip and the glute, but change it just a little bit. So one hand on either side of that knee here, lowering down over top of the knee, and then releasing. Exhale as you lower, inhale to come back up.
3,
right?
2,
Both hands now walk behind that knee.
go.
You take it out of the hips and more into that low back as we lower into our push-up position, and then hover our body weight from one side to the other. Last one here. Once you push back into that furthest position, you're going to drop the elbow onto the floor and inhale, one arm up in the air, threading the needle underneath us. Good. Very nice. All right, go ahead and very slowly unwind yourself. And we're going to make our way up to a stand. So looking down at the feet here, I want you to spread your toes as far apart from each other as you can. Start with that big toe, really planted into the ground. Spread out the toes as much as possible here. And then feel the big toe, the pinky, the outside of the foot, the heel, all pressed into the floor here. And you feel how the arc muscles in the arch of your feet kind of do this. Now we're going to alternate one foot at a time as you lift the heel. Not a ton of body weight here. We're just looking for range of motion. So if you watch from the side, I'm just lifting up, giving a really good stretch to the bottom of my foot and back down. Keep as much of your body weight as is comfortable on those toes, but this is not a calf raise motion. This is more, can my body do the motion and get into the position that we're going to ask it to get into later. This is more about the toes and the bottom of the feet here.
2, 1.
Switching focus to the top of the foot. You're going to put one foot behind you so you're on the top of your toes, and then kind of drag your foot closer as we're now trying to flex the toes or bend the toes the opposite direction. And you're going to feel that straight stretch right up the shin. Hold for a couple seconds, switch it over to the opposite side. So right up from curled toes to trying to get the back of the foot on the ground, give that full stretch out here. Rolling to that outside of the foot, so you're doing the same thing, not just with the big toe, but also with your smaller toes as well. Going back and forth here, we've got another 15 seconds left. Next up, we're going to go up to our neck here.
3.
So we're going to start nice and gentle with a rocking, nodding forward and backwards. So I don't want that whole upper back following here. Shoulders back is straight. You're going to tuck the chin down, feeling the stretch in the back of the neck. And then you're going to lift your chin up towards the ceiling, stretching out the front of the neck. We're not just throwing our head backwards. If you throw your head backwards, you might just feel the pinch in the neck. But when we lift and jut our chin up, you can kind of make this monkey face by really sticking your jaw out as well. You'll really get that good stretch through the jaw muscles. Right. Relax the shoulders, let them fall down below you or fall down your back to the hips. Coming back up to neutral now. We're going to go
3,
ear to shoulder,
1.
ear to shoulder.
Go.
You might have a tendency to want to tilt your nose down or up when we do this. And I really want to see your full face pointing forward. So I don't want to see the nose here, and I don't want to see the nose up here. I want to see all your facial features. And if you find that your shoulders are moving, clasp those hands behind your back. That's your anchor to keep the shoulders down as we go side to side. Good. So in this last 30 seconds now, if you have an area of your neck that's tighter, you can go ahead and stretch that. So you can look up to the ceiling as you go side to side if that's what feels good, or you could look down at the ground as you go side to side if that's what feels good. Good.
3, 2, 1.
Relax.
Go.
All right, so that is the end of our mobility. We're gonna start activating and getting the body going. So I want you to bring over, we're gonna take 1 minute off to bring the equipment over that you're going to need. So whether that's your small dumbbells, your mini loop resistance bands, some larger dumbbells as well. You won't really need anything heavier than, well, depending on what you would need for your legs. So bring everything over so that you have it. And we're gonna start with the mini loop resistance band around your feet. We have 30 seconds left here, so no rush. If your resistance bands are only longer, you can use those as well. You're gonna step inside of it and you're gonna pull into your hips. So this is the first exercise. We're gonna do the monster walk with the large band, and with the small band, it just goes around the feet here, okay? So that's gonna be our first minute. Our goal is to get the outside of the hips and the glutes working.
3, 2.
All right, here we go. Break over. The lower you sit into this, the more you're gonna feel it in your glutes. We wanna target the butt, not the front of the hips here. So if you look down at your feet and your toes are pointing out to the side, you're targeting the front of your hips. If your toes are very slightly pigeon-toed, you're gonna be targeting those glutes. So you can go one step and one step. If you've got a hallway, you can keep pushing out one way and then the other, it's up to you. We've got 30 seconds left and you should be feeling your glutes already. What can you do now in the next 30 seconds to feel those glutes more? Guys. You need a small set of hand weights for this next one here.
2, 1. Go.
We're gonna do our dumbbell front raises. So shoulders back and down, pinching the shoulder blades together. We're gonna lift up and back down. Dumbbells are not going over my shoulders. I'm not arching backwards here. And I'm not using my maximum weight. I'm just using a little warm-up weight here. 1, 2, maybe 3 pounds is good. We want to deactivate our neck. You want to feel the muscles in the front of the shoulder. Dumbbells should not go past your shoulders. It's a small motion. Now we're going to go out to the side. Same thing, shoulders stay down. We're not using our neck. Out to the side and back down. Think about pushing the elbows out to the side, not lifting your hands upwards. Couple more. And then we're going back to the feet with those little resistance bands.
3, 2, 1.
Rest. So taking that little resistance band, putting it around my foot, both feet here, and holding on to something. So I'm now doing a kickback here. So I'm feeling the back of my glute, not the side of my glute working now. You can also put it around the ankle if you like. Not going to be a larger range of motion. If you don't feel your butt working, put your hand on your cheek. You'll feel the muscle under your hand doing the work. Good. Switch legs. Handle in my face. Remember, you want to feel the back of your glute working. Maybe the back of your legs, your hamstring as well. Couple more here.
3,
2, 1.
Go.
All right, no weights for this one. Palms are facing open. We're standing still. Pull those shoulder blades down your back, reaching the fingertips to the floor, keeping the shoulders there. Bring your hands all as high as you can overhead, and then right back down again. So you should feel like there's a string from the bottom of your shoulder blade attaching it to the hip to pull it as close as you can down. I can come up further, but I shrug my shoulders to do it. This is all about doing your range of motion with those shoulders pulled down. And I want you to think about what is restricting you from getting those arms further up. And for our last 15 seconds here, I want you to bring yourself into a streamlined position. And we're just gonna hold it. Try to stretch up, get those arms straight, one hand on top of the other for 5, 4,
three,
3,
two,
2, 1,
Go.
relax. Very nice. Let's take it down to the floor here. On our back with both feet firmly planted here, everything in one line. We're going to squeeze our glutes, lifting our hips upwards. A little bit of a light stretch here, but we're working the glutes and we're going to come back down. Exhaling as we're lifting, inhaling as we come back down. Now, if this feels good, you can stick with it. We are going to be here for another minute total. If you'd like to take a challenge, bring one foot up off the ground, and we're going to go 30 seconds per side. So you do not have to take the challenge and go one leg. You can stay on both feet. That's up to you. Got that heel and the big toe firmly planted into the floor. Definitely don't let the hips lift up off the ground.
2, 1, go.
Switch legs or stay and keep doing both for another 30 seconds here. Heel planted, big toe planted. You'll feel the muscles in the feet working. Stretch through the front of the hip, squeezing that glute as well. Both feet come down to the ground here, arms up in the air, and we're going to spend some time getting ourselves into the right position. So with your palms facing each other, I want you to walk those shoulder blades right underneath you. Probably going to feel a little bit of a gap under the low back. That's okay. You're going to squish it into the floor. And now we're going to reach up overhead and back down. All the way to the floor. Feel that proud chest at the bottom here. Last one.
3, 2, 1, go.
And next time you're up at the top here, you're going to pull those elbows down to the ground and then flip those hands backwards into your scarecrow exercise. You could grab some light hand weights if you wanted to add some weight to this, or you can keep going with body weight. The goal here is to feel that stretch through the front of the chest and shoulders, but also starting to activate the muscles in the back between the shoulder blades that facilitate that external rotation of the shoulder. We are going to get up on our feet after this one. So we're going to start that transition in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Up to the feet. That's our activation. So now we want to get the heart rate up here. First one we're going to start with is our fast feet here. Okay? 3, 2, 1. Let's get going with the fast feet. Every 30 seconds, I'm going to switch it up here. We're going to start easy and slowly get faster, as our goal now is to get your heart rate going. And can you pick the feet up a little faster now? You can move side to side. 10 more seconds here. And now you can move into a high knee jog where you're lifting those knees up, or you could do the marching knee drive here. Think about that leg coming up and around, not straight up to you. We want to keep that spine nice and long. And our goal is to get the heart rate up. So if you can lift those feet, lift those feet. Good. Arms nice and loose here. Shake those arms out. Drop the shoulders down. Knees up a little bit higher for your last 10 seconds. Good.
3, 2, 1.
Switching into butt kicks. We can go nice and slow, flicking the foot backwards, or we can pick it up into our sprints, whatever feels good for you. Good. Can you pick it up for your last 10 seconds here? Loosen those arms up. All right, now we're going to go into a side-to-side shuffle. You can come down and touch the ground, great. Otherwise, we're just shuffling from one side to the other. Little lateral work. Try not to let your body turn into it. We want to work those muscles side to side. Good. All right, now the next couple minutes, we're gonna alternate a fast one with a slow one. So this one here is gonna be an in and out squat. Narrow squat, wide squat. Narrow squat, wide squat. You can jump it, you can tap it. Okay, whatever feels good for you. About a full minute here, 40 seconds left. Pick the one that's right for you. Woo! 30 seconds to go. So wide squats are more about the glutes. Narrow squats, more about those quads. We're going to be picking up our hand weights soon for our arms. So what's appropriate for biceps for you?
3,
2, 1,
go.
straight into our bicep curls. So slowing it down a little bit here. Shoulders back and down, elbows into the side. As you're curling up, think about twisting the pinkies to the outside of the shoulder. Squeeze the bicep back down. Shoulders back and down, core engaged, so we're not leaning backwards. Good. Now as you come up, palms up, rotate the palms facing down on the way down. Out, up, rotate, down. Open, up, rotate, down. You're going to feel those forearms working in addition to those biceps. Good.
2.
Hand weights go down, or you can keep them in your hands if you like. We're going to go into a reverse lunge and then up into a kick. One leg only. If you can't drop your knee because you have pain, just do the step back into the kick. But if you can get down into that full lunge, great. You've got a little stability, balance, explosiveness here. And we're going to switch legs in 3, 2, 1. Switch legs here. So remember, you can step back and kick, or you can lunge and kick. Explosiveness on the way up here. 15 seconds to go. You got it. Back to those hand weights.
2, 1.
Here we go. Tricep extension. So we're going to come into a leaned over position here. Remember, holding through those hips and glutes. We're going to kick those arms back. Elbows don't move. My chest is nice and proud. I bend to 90. I extend to straight. You got it. Keeping both those dumbbells now, reaching up overhead, same thing, bend to 90, straighten up. Try not to extend that rib cage. Try to pinch your elbows together a little bit closer if you can. We don't want them way out here.
3,
2, 1, relax. All right, into a hinged position here. You can hold one dumbbell or nothing at all. We're going to push those hips back, feeling the stretch down the back of the legs, squeezing those glutes to come forward. Prisoner position is here, although you are welcome to hold a weight down here if you'd like to take this into a weighted motion. There should be no low back in this. That back stays nice and straight with the core protecting it. This is all about the back of the legs and the glutes. Got it. After this one, we're down to the ground. So 10 seconds making that transition with the dumbbells that we need for a chest press.
3, 2.
So give you a little bit of transition time here. Down to the ground. And we're gonna go into a chest press here. So shoulders underneath you, feet flat on the ground. Press up, tap those dumbbells above the chest, and then elbows come back down to the ground. Up and back down. You got it. We're gonna be down here past the minute mark. So if you can hear my timer, we're gonna stay here a little longer because we have that transition time. Inhale down, fill the chest. Exhale up, squeeze the chest. I like to imagine that I have a pencil right along my pec line, and every time I press up, I'm trying to squeeze that pencil.
3, 2, 1.
Got another 30 seconds here. And then we're going to be getting up on the feet again. Part of the workout is the up-down motion. Without actually doing the up-downs that we love so much. Good. One more good rep here. And we're going to take a 30-second rest. So you have time to get to your feet, get a drink of water if you need it, or coffee. We are starting a single arm supported lunge in 15 seconds. So you can support yourself on your leg. So I've got my nice long stable lunge stance. I'm supported here. I'm going to grab that dumbbell. Okay, so you're up on your hands. And now we're rolling.
3,
Okay?
2.
So you're pulling that dumbbell more up towards your waist. So not straight up to here where I'm shrugging, back to that waist and down. Good. So stay up on that nice straight arm. So you're going to change it in 10 seconds to a different position. Same exercise, and you're going to see how a different position targets different muscles. So you're going to bring your elbow down to your knee now. You're closer to horizontal, and as you pull up that dumbbell towards the hip, you're going to feel it a little bit lower in that upper back. So the taller you are, the more you're going to feel it higher. The more closer to horizontal you are, the more you're going to feel it lower. 15 seconds left, and then we're going to switch sides. Exhale up, inhale down. Really pinch that armpit closed here.
3, 2.
Step your back foot forward, switching it to the opposite leg here, and staying nice and high on the arm to begin with. So I'm still pulling back to my waist, but I want you to really think about which muscles you're feeling and where are they in relation to your shoulder blade. Now bringing that elbow down. Same motion. How are you feeling this differently now? In relation to that shoulder blade, where do you feel it? Good. Last 10 seconds here. Got 3 minutes of upper body here. We're ready for some lower body work. 3, 2, 1, rest. All right, we are going into our hip airplane here. So a hip airplane, you stand on one leg, we come down, and then we come back up. Remember, we all want to fly in horizontal airplanes here. So you want to stay, don't go lower than this. We don't want to be taking a nosedive, and we don't want to be on our side. The key here for balance is finding your big toe. My heel and my big toe are firmly planted. My belly button and my spine are pulled towards each other. And start with a smaller range of motion if that's what you need. You're going to feel the back of your leg, your hip, your glute here. And arms can go out to the side or arms can go forward. We're going to switch sides in 10 seconds. You probably started on your good side. So if you feel wobbly, just wait. Switch your feet. Find that big toe. Now tell me, did you start on your good side or did you start on your bad side? You're not as good side. We won't call it a bad side. Good. Woo! I definitely started on my good side. Halfway. Mm. Belly button pulls into spine, big toe presses into the floor. You can always find that spot in front of you that might help you. 3, 2, 1. We're going into calf raises here. So straight up, right over top. If you want to take a challenge, you can do this as a single leg exercise. You can also hold on to something for balance if you like to. So double leg or single leg. If you're doing double leg, you're doing it for a minute. If you're doing single leg, I'm going to switch you in 10 seconds to the next side. How high can you get your heel when we compared it to the stretch we did during the warm-up? Switch it over. So in the warm-up, we did a stretch where we weren't really putting a lot of body weight into it. Now we're seeing the strength. So the first one was, are you even able to get into the position? And now it's, are you strong enough to get into the position? 10 seconds to go. 3, 2, 1. We're going into jumping jacks here. Let's get that heart rate back up here. You can tap those feet out. You can jump. That's up to you. You've got 1 minute. Work. Drop those shoulders low. Lose the tension. We've got 8 more minutes here. 30 seconds left. And then you're making your way down to the floor. Promised I wouldn't make you do any burpees today, but I didn't say I wouldn't make you get up and down off the floor. 15 seconds. Good. So now with this elevated heart rate, we're going to go straight down into a plank position. And we're going to hold the plank for the rest of this minute now. Here we go. So pull the shoulders away from the ears. So you're holding your weight through your lats and your core, not through your shoulders. You got it. Thirty seconds left here. Now, if you'd like a challenge, we're going to go straight from our front plank into our side plank. And if you need to put your knees down and rest, you're able to. If you want to roll straight into it, take that challenge. Join me in 10 seconds. Squeeze those lats. You got it. 3, 2, 1. Roll to your side plank here. Hand flat on the ground. So you're pressing that index finger into the floor. And raising those hips up high. 15 more seconds. We switch to the opposite side plank. Hips up a little bit higher. 4, 3, 2, 1. Opposite side plank. Here we go. We'll work last 30 seconds here. Last 10 seconds. Lift those hips a little higher. Make sure our shoulders are stacked on top of each other. Index finger firmly planted into the floor.
3, 2, 1.
Rest. Roll over to your bum, feet firmly planted, hands firmly planted. We're gonna lift up into our reverse tabletop and butt back down to the ground. If you'd like to hold for the next 45 seconds, you're welcome to, or you can raise and lower. You wanna feel that stretch to the front of the bicep. It's a hard exercise to get to mobility-wise, but it is one of the best ways to stretch your biceps in front of the shoulders. 30 seconds left. Last 10 seconds here. Then we're going to be up onto our feet.
3.
All right, let's make our way up.
Go.
And we're gonna do a deep squat hold here. So if you can come down and you can squat and you can hold, great. If you can't do that, find something to hold on to and lower yourself as low as you can into your squat position here, okay? We wanna try to avoid this position here. So you're staying firmly planted over top of those feet. And if the minute is a little bit too long for you, you can stand up, stretch it out, but try to keep your body weight over top of your feet here, not just leaning back away from whatever we're holding on. Those elbows can go into the knees to help find some leverage here. Lift that chest up a little bit higher for your last 20 seconds. You got it. Drop those hips lower. Last 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Stand up and shake it out. So knee bend, feel that stretch through here. And you're not just kicking up and down, you're shaking your leg out here. Do we know how animals, when they get really nervous, they'll shake? So we often see that with dogs. And that's the way that they release anxiety. The same thing does work for us. So when you often see athletes or swimmers up on the blocks and they're doing this with their arms, or they're doing this with their legs, like shaking their leg out, that's innately what we're doing, is trying to release that anxiety. So let's switch up to that upper body now. Shake the hands, get into the full arms if you can. Shake it out. Nice big deep breaths here. We're going back into our squats in 10 seconds here, but this time we're pulsing down and up, okay? You're not coming up to a full stand squat, but you're not going all the way down. So we're gonna come down into that medium.
2.
We're gonna come up, not all the way, and then we're gonna go down, not all the way. So we're staying in this 25 to 75% range of motion. And I really want you to focus on feeling your butt as much as possible, which might mean you have to consciously squeeze it at the top and the bottom each time. Imagine you have tattoos on your inner thighs and you're trying to constantly show me those tattoos the whole time. When you do that motion, you're going to feel your feet grip the floor. You got it. All right, 10 seconds. And we're going to go down to the floor for one final minute. 3, 2, 1. Down to the floor, into your tabletop position. You're going to fold your toes underneath you, and then you're going to lift your knees up off the ground, and we're going to hold here. Belly button pulled into spine. This is your bear crawl or your tabletop position. If you want to move, you can. Forward, backward, side to side. But I want to be able to eat my dinner off your back, which means your butt's not up here, your back's not rounded. It's a nice flat tabletop for me to enjoy my dinner. And I like to use my grandma's china dishes, so please don't break them. All right, last 15 seconds here. Whew. Why does it feel easier to move? 5, 4,
3,
2, 1, rest. All right, let yourself go right down to the floor here. Woo. You're gonna reach back, grab an ankle, a pant leg, a toe, whatever you can reach. And you're gonna pull that heel in, feel that stretch through the quad. Nice, big, deep inhales and exhales. If you can hold your breath at the top and the bottom of that breath, hold for a couple seconds before releasing. And let's switch legs. Good work. Feel that heart rate come down. That is all I have for you guys today. 55 minutes of straight mobility, strength, cardio,